Well, right now might not seem like the smartest time to go searching for a raise, but in fact, a new survey says employees could get at least a 3.5% increase in their paychecks this year if they know the right way to ask for it. And that's the key. And here to tell us how to get the bump in your paycheck is Peter Handal. He is the CEO, President, and Chairman of Dale Carnegie Training. Peter, thank you so much for coming in, and thank you so much for these very important tips. Asking for a raise is never an easy thing to do, so tell us the best way to go about asking for a raise, and what are your top tips?
Thanks, Ashley. The best way to go about getting a raise is to figure out what it is that the company wants and then to give it to them. In other words, do a good job. Second part of that, though, is to communicate it. At Dale Carnegie, we believe in communicating effectively and frequently. And I don't mean by that make a pain in the neck of yourself and keep on boasting about things, but I think it's important to let your boss know that you're doing a good job. And then the third is do your homework. It's very important to see how the industry is doing, how people are paid in the industry. They're doing roughly the same sorts of things that you're doing. And also in your own company. How is the company doing? And how are people paid in the company? There's a lot of ways of finding those kinds of things out. And if you do your homework, if you do a good job, and you communicate it to your bosses, you got it made.
Well, it sounds good, but let me play devil's advocate. So a company hires you to do a job, and you turn around and say, look, I'm doing a good job. Well, that's why they hired you. They expect you to do a good job. So what makes you special? Well,
that's part of selling yourself. I mean, every year companies do give increases, and we were talking earlier about 3.5%. Sometimes it's more, but that's an average. And so a person doing a really good job could get as much as 10%. If someone's doing a poor job, they'd get 0. So if they bring you in to turn around things and to do a good job, and you do a good job, if you exceed their expectations, you deserve the money and you'll get it.
Very good. Okay, on the other side of this, what are some of the things you should avoid when you're asking for that raise?
Well, it's not about you, it's about the company. And so it's very important to put yourself, this is a Dale Carnegie principle that we teach a lot, put yourself in the other person's place. And so look at it from their perspective. And don't tell them, I need the money. It's, I've done a good job. And so I think that's one of the most important things. And then timing is also very important. Every company has its good periods and bad periods. And it's not a good thing to go to, say if you were in the mortgage business today, this would not be a good time to go ask for a raise.
Well, that's a very good point. You kind of answered my question, but timing is everything with companies, either with pay freezes or letting people go. It's obviously very difficult for a number of people out there to actually ask for a raise. So I guess you're saying that timing is critical.
Timing is a major part of it, but people sometimes feel have a hard time thinking about or talking about asking for things for themselves. But that's not really what the approach should be. The approach should be, what does the company want? What do they need? What are their objectives? And I'm giving it to them. And that should make it easier to talk about. I mean, people sometimes have a hesitation, but they shouldn't. I mean, they really shouldn't. I mean, it's a matter of selling yourself.
Well, Peter, I guess finally, in addition to asking for more money, can you negotiate for other perks as well? Could you kind of throw that out there as an option?
Actually, that's a very good question, because when things are tough, and they are tough in a lot of industries, sometimes there are non-monetary things that we could ask for that would improve our quality of life. And that is what compensation is about. It's improving the quality of life. And sure, money is a very important part of that. But there are other things like extra days off, depending on where you live, a free or paid parking space, or traveling on a Friday or a Monday so that for business, so that when you get there you can stay over a weekend and enjoy yourself a little bit more. There's a whole variety of things, flex hours. Those kinds of things can improve the quality of life and make you happier, and it doesn't cost the company so much.
Very good. Peter Handal with the Dale Carnegie Training, thank you so much for your tips. I've taken them to heart. Thank you.